Today we're making this adorable beginner-friendly macrame bow keychain. All the supplies I used for this macrame tutorial will be linked in the description box, but keep an eye on the bottom left corner because anytime I use a new item, it will pop up there. Alright, so to get started, fold your first cord in half to find the center and then pin it on your macrame board. Next, attach 4 cords onto your first one using a reverse lark's head knot. To tie a reverse lark's head knot, you want to fold your cord in half, and then with the loop end you want to go up and over your first cord and then pull the tail ends through the loop. And just a friendly reminder, if I'm going too fast for you, you can always adjust the speed of this video by tapping the 3 dots on the top right corner. Alright, once you've tied all 4 of your reverse lark's head knots, you want to take the first 4 strands of cord and tie a square knot. Place your left cord across the 2 middle, and then the rightmost cord goes behind and through the loop of your left. Cinch it up to the top, and repeat but the opposite way. So make a loop on your right, and then with your left cord you want to go behind and through the loop. Great, now do the same thing for the last set of 4 cords. Once you have your 2 square knots at the top, we want to do a third one right in the middle. Working with the 4 cords in the very center, tie your 3rd square knot. This pattern actually came to be by making a big mistake. I was originally trying to create a flower, a specific flower, but as I was attaching the petals together, it looked more like a bow, so I kind of went with that. Alright, once you've finished tying your 3 square knots, we're going to move along to the sides of our bow. Divide your cords in half, but we're going to take the 2 center cords and we're going to lift them up and out of the way. Those 2 cords are crucial, but right now we're done with them. Grab your top left cord and drag it over to the center. That is now going to be your filler cord. Grab the next cord in line and loop it over top of your filler, wrapping it through the loop and cinch it up to the top. And then repeat one more time. And that's how you tie a double half-hitch knot. But instead of dropping it, you want to gather that cord into your right hand and then locate the next strand. Make sure it's not crossed over because sometimes it crosses over here. And you're going to tie another double half-hitch knot, but this time around both cords. I like to call this technique a gathering double half-hitch knot because normally you would just drop your cord. So again, once you've tied your double half-hitch knot, you want to gather it into your right hand and then continue the same process with the last cord. And of course, we're going to do the same thing to the other side, but mirrored. So grab your top right cord and drag it over to the center, and then with the next cord, tie your double half-hitch knot, and remember to gather it into your right hand when you're done. Once you're finished, it should look something like this. Then you want to repeat the whole process one more time for the other side of your bow. Now brace yourself, I'm going to go in great detail on how to melt the ends of your cord. Starting with the 2 cords on opposite sides, I like to snip off the end, leaving just a tiny bit of a tail. Because, and I know this sounds obvious, but when it melts, it shrinks a little bit. And if you cut it too close, it could shrink right into your knot and then cause it to unravel. Also, you barely want to hold the lighter over it. You just want to slightly melt it and then press it into the back of the rest of your cords. I've noticed that a lot of people, they hold the lighter over it for far too long and it ends up singeing their cord. All you want to do is just melt the synthetic fibers in order to press it against the rest of it in the back, and then you get a seamless finish in the back. Now, the two little bundles on opposite ends are what you want to cut and melt. Do not cut the two centers, we need those. So kind of bend them out of the way and work on one side at a time. Now the ends you can cut just a little bit closer, but you still want to leave a little bit of a tail. When you're melting a bundle of cord just like this, the purpose is to kind of seal the end so it doesn't unravel and not to fuse it to the back of anything. And I feel super ridiculous explaining how to melt rope, but I'm in several macrame Facebook groups and I've noticed that there's a lot of questions about how to properly melt the ends, and a lot of people are commenting that they either burn the rope or it doesn't look very good in the back. Anyways, I hope somebody out there found this useful. Okay, so of course repeat the same thing to the other side, and next we're going to join them together. So first, lay them out like how I'm doing here. And just a tip, if you're pinning it, pin it at an angle. This just helps so that the pins are out of the way when we go to tie our crown knot. So you guessed it, we're going to go all the way around clockwise in a crown knot. Grab the top cord and place it over top of the one next to it. Then take that cord and place it over top of the one next to that. And then with your final cord, you want to take it and slide it down through the center of the loop of your first one. Then carefully cinch all ends together to form a knot right in the center. Once you have your crown knot nice and taut, you want to lay out your cords again, and we're going to do this another time and go around in another crown knot. Now, this is the hardest part of this entire project, is the crown knot, especially the very first round. Just make sure that your first round is nice and taut, otherwise your bow will be too loose and kind of floppy. So just make sure that the first round is perfect before you finish the second one, because the second one really locks it in place. Alright, so once you have the second round of crown knots done, you want to unpin it, and then we're going to flip it over to the back side. And you want to make sure your cords are right tucked into the middle towards the back. And again, pin it down onto your board at an angle, because we're going to tie another 2 rounds of crown knots. Alright, so lay it all out and let's go all the way around for our first crown knot on the back. Perfect. Now repeat one more time and do another round of crown knots. Alright, still working on the back side, divide your cords in half. Then grab one of your last strands of cord and fold it in half. Once you find the center, place that behind the first set of 2 cords. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie what I like to call a floating square knot. And essentially, it's the same thing as tying a regular square knot, only the 2 side cords are not anchored at the top. They are kind of just floating on the back. Once you've tied your first floating square knot, slide it all the way up to the top on the left side of your crown knot. Next, you want to tie 3 more square knots in a row all the way down the left-hand side here. So I did a total of 4 square knots on each side, but you can always do more or less depending on what length you want the ribbon to be on either side of your bow. It's totally up to you, but I kind of like 4. Alright, so with your last strand of cord, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now that first floating square knot is kind of tricky. If you're having trouble, you can always just pin it into the back, like I'm doing here, and then tying your square knot with your rope pinned down. But you'll probably only need to use the pin for the first half of your square knot. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead here and tie the rest of the square knots on the right hand side here. Alright, so once you're finished with both sides of your ribbon, you can go ahead and flip it back over to the front side and pin it down onto your board. We're going to finish off the ends by giving it that little swoop to the side. And we're going to do this by another row of those gathering double half hitches. So grab your rightmost cord and swoop it over to the left-hand side as your filler cord. Then with the next cord in line, tie your double half hitch knot. And don't forget, once you finish your double half hitch knot, gather that cord into your left hand, and then with the next cord, you're going to tie your double half hitch knot around both of them. And as you're tying these gathering double half hitch knots, make sure they're tight right up against your last square knot. Alrighty, and of course, repeat the same thing to the other side. Unpin it from your board, and we're gonna go ahead and melt the ends again. But don't worry, I won't give you a huge lecture. However, if you're enjoying this video, please do me a huge favor and give this video a thumbs up. Alright, so this cute little bow is done, but we're gonna turn it into a keychain. Now, I'm a fan of this chain because it's big enough that we don't need any jump rings. All you need to do is just twist one of the links open with a couple of pairs of pliers. And then we're going to flip our bow over to the back side. And we're going to thread it through one of the loops of our crown knot. One of the ones that's right at the top. Then twist the link back together with your pair of pliers. Then open up the link at the very end and go ahead and thread your lobster clasp onto that. And close it back up, of course. And if you want to be fancy, you can add a charm or a bead. Now, I made my own because I got this new tool that I'm so excited about, and no, I'm not sponsored or affiliated. It's called the One Step Looper, and I've been seeing it all over the place on TikTok, and I had to get my own and try it out for myself, and I love it. I made a whole bunch of these little links. I do have to warn you though, wire can be sharp because I did injure myself a little bit, so be careful. However, the results are really cute. But you can always add just a regular charm as well. You don't need to make your own. I just wanted to share exactly what I did, plus I was really excited about my new tool. These cute little macrame coquette bows look so adorable. They would look really cute on a purse or a backpack, or just clipped onto a keychain. If you have any other suggestions on what to do with this bow, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.